A shutter clicks. A laugh freezes in midair. The file opens. Pink cloud over the ridge. Stone cut clean. And a person is simply not there where they should be. I'm looking at the screen with Avery, and the laugh becomes a blank hole. Who was in that frame?
Find somewhere dark and quiet. Put your headphones on. Listen closely now. Tonight's story is called Negative Space.
Avery made pictures for a living. Long lenses, long waits, the kind of patience that keeps you awake before dawn. He left the ridge once, magazine work, city apartments, then came back because memory felt thin and mountains feel like anchors.
He wanted the wind in his windows again, resin on his jacket, coffee gone cold while light changed. He wanted to tether his life to place. He wanted, more than anything, not to forget the people who taught him how to see.
Maya sat for him on the ridge one June evening, her face turned toward the dying gold. He pressed the shutter. The world looked right. Then the file opened, and she was gone.
He pushed the laptop toward her the next morning. She leaned in, thumb scrolling, face closed. Then she said, "I don't know who that is."
I remember the room going cold.
Avery laughed, too loud, like a man trying to sell a story that even he did not accept. "You were there," he said. "You were sitting right here."
People forget names. They don't usually forget that someone lived inside a life, like a room you used to visit. Avery tested the edges. He printed, backed up, uploaded. He posted a behind-the-scenes shot with a blurred figure and watched replies arrive, asking casually who that figure was.
Threads altered. Comments that existed yesterday were gone. An old post with someone in the background now showed empty slope. Files on different drives disagreed with each other. The ridge, it seemed, took human traces the way tide takes pebbles, sometimes without warning.
Notice the silence.
He spoke to Ellis, a retired ranger with a habit of squinting like the weather might be hiding something. Ellis said, "Places have a memory of their own." And you could hear the town deciding whether to believe him. Some shrugged, others looked like people who'd misplaced a childhood photograph and couldn't find the frame.
Avery cycled gear. New body, old lens, cheap point and shoot. The results were maddeningly consistent. Shots from certain angles on the ridge showed landscape but not people. Not all pictures, not every time. Caprice with consequence.
Then Marcus stopped answering his texts. Missed a meeting. People in the cafe hesitated when Avery asked, "Marcus?" They tried. And then the name folded like a page without print. "Never heard of him," the barista said.
He reached for proof, like a man reaching for a hand in dark water. Prints, timestamps, backups. Lawyers suggested caution. Police took statements and tilted their heads. The chief said, "We can't arrest a ridge."
"Of course not," Avery whispered.
He did the reckless thing. He stayed on the ridge overnight. Tripod set like a small altar. An empty chair for a face that might be taken. Clicks into the dark. The wind up there sounds like paper tearing slowly. Each shudder felt louder than a heartbeat. While reviewing frames in the thin night, something tugged at him, the kind of memory slip that feels like a voice moving out of the room. A phone light that should have pulsed was simply gone from his hand. He groped for it and found only the echo of a sound. At one point, a frame held an outline, faint, impossible, as if the ridge itself had allowed the idea of someone to pass through the sensor. Proof that teetered on the edge of being helpful and dangerous. He wanted to publish. He feared what publishing would do.
He took an envelope of old negatives into a shed darkroom one wet afternoon. One strip, when it breathed into the developer, gave him something obscene in its ordinariness, a child's grin, a hand on a shoulder, and at the edge a mark on the stone that looked like a shallow groove, proof that might be a footprint or a letter.
He took that strip to Ellis. Ellis pressed the film like it was a relic and said, "Some places keep records in their own way."
You could not translate that into law or comfort. You could only feel it as a fact of the world, older, stranger than our paperwork.
He hid the negatives in a tin, dropped the tin into a drain beneath a rusting bridge. He wanted to keep proof away from screens and curious fingers, to give it a place where the ridge couldn't reach through pixels. It was a small, ridiculous act of protection.
Months later, a woman came to his door, remembering a boy who used to climb rocks, scratches on his hands, the kind of small detail that can anchor a name. For a moment he thought the ridge had loosened. Then the memory thinned again, like tissue between fingers.
The last image he kept was a negative in the tin, a bright, imperfect handprint on glass, a fingertip smudge, and against the stone, a mark that might be letters or might be erosion. He could not prove the letters were a name. He could hold the negative up in the dark and feel less alone.
He held the strip up to the light. A smudge. Half shadow, half letter. Like a name blurred at the edge. He whispered it once into the dark and did not say it again.
The night remembers. If you're still here, look around once more. Make sure everything is exactly where you left it. I'm Samnang. Subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, check the corners.